the state of Black nonprofits. Why are so many Black nonprofits either failing or finding it hard to get funding? We're going to be talking about the crisis that's in the nonprofit sector, specifically African Americans. Forbes states that 50% of nonprofits will fail within its first 12 months. These are new nonprofits just getting started. These numbers represent generally in the African American community is even more. Other data suggests that it's less than that. According to the National Center for Charitable Statistics, they put the figure around 30%. So we're talking about anywhere between 30 to 50% of nonprofits that's getting started fail within the first 12 months. Let's talk about how does that look when it comes to the African American nonprofits. So let's talk about Black nonprofits. The data that I'm going to be talking about is coming from the Nielsen Foundation. This organization does surveys all of the time. What they found was that when it comes to Black nonprofits, they tend to be, or often are, grassroots, hyper-local, and funder-led. That means people created, funder-led, with deep connections to the community. About 78% of those nonprofits, which is Black-led, are operating on a budget of less than $500,000 a year, 6%. And nearly 1/3 of Black nonprofits operate with less than $33,000 a year. That 1/3% of Black nonprofits that make less than $30,000 a year, well, they are largely made up of volunteers. 43% of the organization operate without any paid full-time employees. 45% have no paid or part-time employees. Added to that, Black nonprofits face a unique funding, they face unique funding challenges, with 85% of those nonprofits saying that 85% are always or often having trouble accessing a large, diverse number of funding sources. 72% are always or often challenged to identify or cultivate new funders. Without new funders, you die. Let's continue. This is the state of Black nonprofits. %, of those nonprofits indicated that they would shut down if they lost one or two funders. Here is the data source that we're using for the information that we shared with you so far. In a study done by the United States, they found that Black people give 25% or more of their income to nonprofit initiatives. That is 20% more than white people did. That study also found that Black-led organizations remained unfunded compared to the organization led by white people. According to this, they found that the revenue of Black-led organizations are on average 24% smaller when compared to their white counterpart. And that organizations led by Black women consistently receive less funding than those led by Black men or white women. That's what they found. Let's talk about what are the primary reasons that the funders are saying why they wouldn't fund nonprofits in general, but specifically Black nonprofits. So here's a link to the 5 reasons that an article in this popular blog quoted as why nonprofits fail. I'm going to talk about 3 of those reasons. The primary reason why, especially Black nonprofits fail, is because they're not keeping up with the latest in technology. Artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, and the Web3 is changing the narrative on how nonprofits operates. Not having the technology, be it artificial intelligence or be it related to efficiency and productivity, not having that technology to kill that nonprofit. And does. The second reason that was quoted was because nonprofits, Black nonprofits, lack infrastructure. They were so focused on frontline services and the services that they provide that they wasn't looking at their organizational infrastructure and whether or not that infrastructure will be able to sustain them both from a programmatic perspective as well as financially. They were simply looking at frontline service. Not having that infrastructure in place is the death of a lot of nonprofits. The next reason they quoted was the next reason they quoted was a lack of ethics. That is not paying attention to your goals, your objectives, in your output and not being ethical and not being trustworthy. We want to change that narrative. My name is Michael Randall, and I'm with the Center for Nonprofit and Community Development. We provide an array of different services, programs, and projects that position the especially small Black nonprofits to compete against white nonprofits as well as other well-established nonprofits. We do this by providing technical support in the area of effective skill sets to start up nonprofits and existing nonprofits. The objective is to enhance, increase, and strengthen their capacity to service their clients. We talked earlier about the state of Black nonprofits. And that state is because they don't have the skill sets necessary to compete. Be it a nonprofit that has 100% of volunteers or nonprofits that's operating on a budget that's less than $30,000 and only have one or two funding sources. Without building that capacity, you can be one of those nonprofits that we consider to be a dinosaur. To date, we provided technical support assistance to over 2,500 nonprofits, government agencies, faith-based groups, businesses, and individuals nationally. The great bulk of these nonprofits benefited from the different professional workshops that we provide to the community and nonprofits free of charge, as well as our paid workshops. Nationally, we provided assistance to over 300 nonprofits from around the nation and preparing their paperwork for them to become a 501c3. When we do the paperwork that focus on what does the funder want to see when they look at your startup nonprofit. We work with ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things. In the 350 nonprofits that we were able to assist in starting that nonprofit, we met regular people, from a mother that lost her child in the streets to violence, to a mother that lost her daughter to cancer, to a father who lost his job, the whole gamut of why people start nonprofits. Those nonprofits were provided with the tools necessary to be sustainable. Here is a snapshot of some of the programs that we offer. I think nonprofits should take all of these, but I think what's most important, nonprofits, especially if you're a small nonprofit and you're just coming up, you want to take our CEO training. Our CEO training includes all of these different programs and projects, plus teaching the CEO how to negotiate with lenders, how to negotiate with funders, how to negotiate with investors, how to negotiate with government officials, all these key folks that you have to have a conversation with. And that conversation needs to be differently, even how to interact with the community. So this is the end of our presentation. Again, this is a list of the many services that we provide. And we hope that we can work with you and help you in terms of what you want to do to strengthen your nonprofit. I can't overemphasize the state of Black nonprofits. 1/3 receive 30,000 or less. Most of these nonprofits that's on the ground and doing the good work do not have funding. Our objective is to provide those skill sets to give the nonprofit a fighting chance. Our mission is to change the narrative when it comes to nonprofit. I'm hoping that this presentation was of some help to you. Contact us at the Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. And if you sat through this presentation, that means you're really interested in what we have to offer, and we're really interested in providing those services to you and taking you to the next level. We've started with nonprofits that have nothing. And those nonprofits in their second, third year was bringing in $100,000 to $300,000 because of the training that we gave them in terms of how to maneuver in the nonprofit world as a CEO. Thanks again for listening to this presentation. I'm hoping that it will help you and your nonprofit to get you where you need to get to. Don't forget, email me at the Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com, or visit us on the web at www.michaelrandolph.us. Thank you.